Yeah, yeah. We
Yes,
back.
mate.
Woo!
Hey,
Hey, Bevo.
apple juice. Apple juice. Apple juice.
What it does, what is poppin', what is good, everybody? My name is Uncle C.
My name is Nosh Dog.
And welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Bad Habits, Relentless Unpacked, where we deep dive into the different elements of my latest studio album. I was about to say sophomore studio album, Relentless. It dropped a couple weeks ago. This week, so last week we hung out with Maya Clarity, who is the producer of the project, and obviously Notion is the engineer, so we really got deep into the music side of it, how it all came together, how it worked. This week we're going to move on to the visual side, the artwork. You might remember him from an episode last year. We just checked, it was October 11th last year. Uncle Terry is back in the building. There he is. What?
And of course his name's not Uncle Terry. Can we clarify it for the listeners who this beautiful woman is?
Yes, this young gentleman, this beautiful man is someone I consider a brother, a family. This dude we've known for 10 years, Joshua Telfer. We go a long way back. There is three people that I trust implicitly with music. There's Notion, Josh, and our guest next week, Richard, in videos. And there's no one else that I fuck with who understands me, who understands what is going on. So it's an honor to have you back and continue to work after a decade. It's a decade, man. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I was going to say 2011 was when we met.
Yep. It was March. Hang on. When was training? February 2011. No,
yeah,
was it
February
March?
2011, I think it was.
Something like that.
I think it was February.
It was February. Okay.
I think it was February.
And
that was
March,
Apple?
but I think it's February.
It was at Apple. We sat next to each other in our. They have the trainings called Call, and they put all of us in a room, and it's really fucking weird because they clap when you walk into the room. There's so much clapping with Apple. It's really weird.
We were the only two people with access. I remember that.
Correct. And we sat next to each other. They separate us all into like little tables, I guess, to do the exercises where they train you on the products and how to do the, talk to customers and sell stuff. So they sat us next to each other. You probably thought my accent was weird. I didn't even really know what Trinidad was at the time. So I think I was like, what? He was like, this dude talks funny. I like it. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but I'm here for it. And like, we're a 10-year difference, like to the year as well. Like only 10 years and a couple months type of thing. So we had quite the age gap, but I feel like we clicked immediately.
Yeah, I don't even really remember the transition period. I remember talking during training, and then I remember us being tight while we worked together.
And getting separated at work where they were fucking around way too much. And
because we.
All right, Josh, you're down there. You know how it goes.
We're telling customers I love you when they're leaving. Bye, I love you.
Bye. Okay, I miss you, love you. We're sending them off with good vibes. People don't understand.
Yeah,
we're spreading good energy,
contributing to their lives. No, you know the vibes. So I don't remember. What I wanted to do today or this evening was just to go through, give you guys a bit more of a history. We may have done it last time, but this time we brought visuals. So we're going to actually break down some of the key work we've done. We're not going to do everything because there's been so many smaller things, I guess, that we've done together over the years. And
we'll do the projects, not really like the singles and stuff.
Because there was probably at least a dozen plus single covers. And
early days there were a lot of singles. I remember that.
That's how it started, actually. I think in 2011. So we actually started. You did my first single called Pot of Gold, which is just like a mixtape kind of joint. Shit.
Fuck, I remember that one.
You were in the video. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, and we had all the people. You did the T-shirt, the logo. And we had all the people for the video, all the homies. We did the performance at Andy's pool hall with the three of us. Actually, the three of us did rocked a couple of joints. I mean, you stood there, Josh. Me and Brad rapped. That was cool. And so it started from that. That was it was Halloween 2011. Yeah.
Andy's pool hall, wasn't it?
Yeah. Saturday swag. Shouts to J-Lo.
Hilarious, buddy.
Shouts to
that
J-Lo. Like, man, there was some good times out there.
That was
what a place.
Man, we were just lit every fucking week. It was a lot of work.
We had party joints we rapped. We actually had party songs that appealed and worked to that particular party crowd. It felt like fucking full rock star rap shit.
Yeah, man.
That was a good show. I enjoyed that.
It was
that
fun.
Place used to go hard.
Yeah, the Apple parties went hard, but the Apple people represented. So when we came on, they just fucking screamed
Oh,
and
that's
shit. And I was
right.
like,
That's
Jesus,
what it
all
was,
right,
yeah.
thanks guys. Like, it was very cool. So we started there. We did a whole bunch of singles. I remember in like 2011, 2012, I was just dropping a whole bunch of singles, stay active. Then we got into my first solo. I just gone solo, by the way. So that was the very, very, very first solo thing I'd released, which I'd been in groups for the last just shy of a decade. So Pot of Gold was the very first thing. So that's why I always like you have been there since the beginning. Like you designed the logo, and then the cover and everything from then. So we did a bunch of single covers, like we said. We won't go into, but we did.
Wait,
I did
the logo, the C logo. When did we come up with the C logo? Didn't you have it before? Didn't I rework it, or did I do that from scratch?
You did it from scratch, and I just told you what I wanted. It was based on the tat behind my ear there, like the old English.
I forgot about it.
You designed it, and then we got those T-shirts made where we all had them, and we got them made at that store on Yonge Street where they like do the one-off printing. Remember that shit?
I do remember that. Didn't we all wear them to Andy Pool Hall one time for Halloween as well?
That was the show where we all had them. Like Tiff had them. Yeah. The three of us did. I think a few other people got in. I can't remember who else at the time, but it was like a Cee and Believe Dreams type of thing.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So that was like the kickoff, and then I decided to do some solo. I wanted to come out with solo mixtapes. So I did this series called the Indie Experiment, and I'm back on the weed drinks again, by the way. Hence the burp. The Tweed.
Excellent.
Dropped a raspberry version, so it's 5 milligrams. Should be interesting.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, not bad.
5 milligrams is so light.
Yeah, super light. Like that, but that's the good part about them, where they're like you can still do shit afterwards because they're mad mellow. They're a good time, these fucking drinks. So I did this series called The Indie Experiment, and the theme was I was trying to get, Notion. I had traditionally done a ton of mixtapes over the years. I wanted to come out from my solo thing, before going into an album with a series of mixtapes. So I did 3 volumes with 9 songs each, rather than one long one with 18 songs. And the point of it was, instead of like getting the instrumental like me and Notion had done, I got the full songs of indie rock songs or like indie pop, which is this whole genre that I was discovering at the time. I was like heavy in this vibe of like discovery of new music. I started playing guitar again. I bought that acoustic guitar behind me in like 2009. I was just fucking going nuts, and it was really, really a good time for me of just finding new stuff. Well, new to me. So I did something that I didn't think anyone had ever done before, which was like get the song, keep the complete song, and just fill in all of the empty spaces with raps. Like all of the empty spaces, like Fiona Apple and fucking Jason Mraz and
the XX.
Yep, which everyone ended up doing. I thought I was really genius for doing that, but 8 million people rap on that.
You did it first for sure. One of the first, if not the first.
Must have been one of it, I think, because it was pretty early with that. Angus and Julia Stone, and I'm having a blank because there was so many. But that type of indie stuff. So I hit Josh. Obviously, there was no one else I was working with, so I was like, dude, I want to do these series. And I'd been with my partner Tiffany for probably like, I can't remember when we did this, probably like a year at the time. The first one came out on my birthday, April 10th, 2012. Then I dropped them every 2 months, June 10th and August 10th for volume 2 and 3.
The first one was The Mirror?
First one was The Mirror. So do you remember the conversation with that? Or not really?
What initiated the conversation?
Or what I asked you to create?
No, not specifically.
Yeah, neither do I. I got a feeling that I think I said I wanted Tiff in all of them in different situations, and I wanted something to carry through. And I think the idea...
Yeah, you definitely did talk about connecting something through the 3 of them.
Aside from just
I think we were like honestly just hanging out at Powerhouse, and like we saw the mirror in the backyard, and someone was just like, "Why don't we write on it?" And then we started write on it with a Sharpie actually, and then someone was just like, "Why don't we use the lipstick?" And then we wiped off the Sharpie or wiped off the dry erase, and then switched it to the lipstick.
But I bought the lipstick specifically. Yes, and we ended up rocking with the lipstick, which I'm going to show you guys in a sec. I remember buying the lipstick just for it. Like I went to a dollar store and got a cheap ass lipstick. So I think we had the idea beforehand.
Not your first time buying lipstick though, was it, mate?
I think it was. That's why I went to a dollar store. Otherwise, fuck, who does that? I was going to bring this up so y'all can see it while we're talking about it. So this is the image here. As you can see, so Josh, you did that freehand by looking at And I think, see if you can see on that second E there, there's a little bit of black. I think you actually did the Sharpie
Yeah,
kind
you
of
can
as
see the marker,
yeah, as the outline, and then but I think you kind of gave up because it was like, oh fuck it, let me just use the lipstick. So you freehanded this whole shit and got that angle. That angle was taken out the very front. So the place called the Powerhouse, which is where our friends live on Dufferin. In
Scunner
Toronto.
took the shot, no?
Maybe.
I think Scunner took the photo.
Fuck, maybe he did. Shouts to Scunner.
Yeah, I think so. I think Scunner shot the first photo. I'd like obviously added the text and all that, which I'm looking at it now, not extra proud of, but it was 2012, so it is what it is.
It's a different time.
Yeah, I think Scunner shot this.
Okay, that actually, you know why? I actually think you might be right because you didn't have a camera at the time. I think got you. Tiff had a camera, an old one, and I think we used her. You used her camera for the next two covers.
Exactly.
So I remember getting this angle was pretty like tough to get. Tiff's face not being blocked by the thing, and like the proper. I think I was standing behind it, holding the mirror up too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because it was
down on the balcony side.
Yeah, on the balcony in the front of the house, like facing the street. Yeah. So this was really cool. So we started with this one, and then we did volume. We don't have to really go on about this too much. I just want to show the creativity and sort of like the history here. Then we moved into the volume 2, and I was like, okay, what could we do for this one? We thought, let's make this a little more controversial. And I think from memory, each of these mixtapes had like, I should probably show the back covers too, because we didn't know all the back covers.
Also, we should tell the people that are listening on the audio platforms that this is actually on YouTube, and Cee's bringing up visuals of the artwork and explaining it. So if you want to actually see what we're talking about, jump onto youtube.com/movementfam and have an actual look at the artwork step by step, so you can actually follow along. So we didn't make that clear at the start. Sorry for that, kids.
No, bro. Thank you so much. That's exactly the point. So go check it out, and then I'll probably drop links to all of these projects in the description too. So this is the back to the first one. I think this is where we first saw the mirror. This is just where we saw it and took a photo of it, and then we were
hanging on a fence.
Hanging on a fence in their backyard.
Dope.
So then we took that mirror. Josh drew on it out the back. We brought it out the front, and then shot the cover. So that was part 1. There's all the different, I guess I'm just going to leave this here so y'all can see the folders. We ain't fucking around with the folder game. Now, volume 2, I remember wanting to be a little cheeky. So I guess we can describe what we're looking at. There's my name that says C in what looks like white powder, surrounded by beer bottles, like plastic bags with drugs in them. And Tiffany has a rolled up $20 bill, about to do a line of the white powder on my name, and the lipstick from the first one is in there as well. So I remember we used sugar and flour. This was done at Notion's crib, or our crib, but Notion's floor, on your table, Notion. Do you remember this?
Yeah, for sure. The old kitchen island.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, I remember
going into work the next day and people thought it was real.
Yeah, because we did a good job, man.
Like, yo, you guys had a party.
Looks great.
I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I didn't even know what they were talking about at first. And I was like, yo, well, you had a mount in the coke. And I was just like, oh, right, I did.
Yeah. That would kill like 6 people. There's no way. That is a lot of cocaine. So you used probably like a card or something, or some sort of credit card or something hard was to like make this, sculpt this into the letters, which was fucking fire. And I remember these beer bottles. I think we were doing home brews at the time. So these...
That's why there's no labels.
That's why there's no labels, because I didn't want any labels on there. And we put the lipstick front and center on the front so you could be, call back to the first cover. And we thought it was just a little more risque because it was like that. And I think each mixtape I had them themed. Like they were maybe one of them had a bit more love, one of them had a bit more conspiracy in it, and blah, 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 like shit like that. And then the back cover is super dope. We have Cash, a ring of the original Vitali ring, back when Shane Vitali dropped that off to my job to give it to me to take photos of.
Classic.
Yeah.
We got the passport, the Canadian dollar bills. We have the empty beer bottles. We have, what's all this stuff? Some of this shit is yours, Josh. We had some like pre-rolled joints.
Couple spliffs.
couple spliffs. Yeah, the
I have
iPhone
that
4.
bullet casing still, actually. I don't know why we put a bullet in it, but
yeah, it's pretty.
I have that bullet casing still.
It's pretty Section 80. It was very Kendrick Section 80 artwork because they had
the inspiration.
That was the influence. Yeah, definitely the.
You know what? Jayla is the one who put me onto Kendrick. Period. I remember being at work and he showed me what's this, a high power, and I was like, "Fuck, okay, sick." So yes, I think that's exactly what it was. There's some jewelry that Tiff has here. The lipstick is there again. Our TMF business cards, Notion's headphones. And the key thing again here is that there's only certain things that are in color. Like a lot of it is kind of really like desaturated, but the lipstick is full color and the TMF is full color.
So is the money a bit.
And then the cover art of the first one
on the phone
has a little bit of red in it.
Yes, has a bit of red there, and we're playing. There's a phone playing the song from the first one, or playing the album, which is super cool. So this one was really thought through, and I remember you were standing on like a stool that was kind of rickety. I think I had to hold that shit down because you were standing trying to get the overhead shot, and I didn't want you to fall. Yeah, man, really proud. Yeah, that one was super cool, and this is volume 3 now. So we did this one. We got Tiff in the back alley of the same place where we lived. Shot. You hand. What's the word? Carved, or you used a scalpel to make a stencil.
Stencil, yeah.
Yep, and I still have that stencil. And that graph is still there to this day. Scott went past recently. It's still there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So we had Tiff out front.
Like dimmed out the other graffiti on Photoshop so that you just pop more.
Yes, because that one. Now I'm looking at that. Nice. It does look like grayed out a little more. So it's just on this like blue door, Tiff holding the spray can as if she just wrote. You can sort of see her arm and some of her hair. You can't see her face or anything. And then the back covers. This one was a little plain in comparison. And then the back. Is this the back? Oh no.
Yeah, this is the back. Well, without the text.
Here we go with the text. So with the back cover, we put the spray can, my Jamaica color Blue Jays hat, which we got. You got the Trini one because they were released at the New Era store downtown Toronto. We were all obsessed with that. Super fire.
I cut mine up. Do you still have your hat?
Yeah, man. I kept everything. I don't wear it obviously because it's a fitted. But
I wore mine a lot. I got dirty, so I cut it up and made patches out of the logos.
That's actually pretty dope.
Oh shit!
Like I should do something like that. That's a good idea, actually.
Ballsy. I
think I have a beer. Looks like there's a full beer, and that's a homebrew cap. That's a homebrew. And then I've got my old mixtapes when I was in the group back in the day. So I have some of those mixtapes there, and also once again the lipstick. So these ones were really cool. All of these different covers. So that's where it kind of all started. We started with those. Then I did my next solo album, which was This Is All I Know. And that was 2014. And this one I actually recall. So this is the cover. You can see it already. I probably should have brought this up beforehand. Actually, hold up. Final. There we go. Look at me. I should have had this. I said to myself, I'm going to do that before. So we have the cover. It was actually shot just behind the camera here against that wall, just a plain wall.
Mm-hmm.
Super.
I'll draw for that one.
You did. We actually did and I probably have to show. Remember, you made a full PDF.
The booklet thing.
Booklet that came with it. So that's the cover. That's the album on the wall behind me there. The back cover is super cool. This was shot at Mont Tremblant, fucking dead of winter, probably February.
So sick.
In front of, it's me standing with a trench coat, looking down in front of a rock, one of those rock sidings by the road where all the ice kind of gathers on the side, and there's a whole bunch of icicles. And the theme of this one we ran with was like the upside down triangles, which a few other people in Montreal copied, funnily enough.
Cheeky buggers.
I love the way you did the text on this album, where track 1 and track 15 were horizontal and the rest were vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super clean.
So that was when you were like, that was when you had just started BAOS, no?
Like
around them times?
No, so let me go out here so I can look at. I think I started BOS in 2015, so I started it the next year, but I did Brewheads beforehand, so I was already like.
But the logo's on the album. Beer and Other Shit logo's on that back.
Oh, okay. So I started BOS technically in 2011 when I did the what's it called, the
365.
The 365 days of beer. Exactly right. Thank you, Nosh.
Yeah.
You're the only one paying. So basically, here we go. I found the PDF. Sick. You designed that original logo for that, and then you designed this bad boy, which was a booklet.
Cool.
That when you bought it from iTunes, you got all of this. And this is a photo shoot. So we went to a train track. Remember the train?
Oh, that's sick.
The train came and was honking us.
I haven't seen that for ages.
Yeah, the train yelled.
The train yelled at us and we're like, get the fuck off. And we almost got hit. We went to an abandoned building.
Oh, what?
Which has been knocked down now.
Bro, it was like a lifetime ago.
Dude, I haven't looked at this in a long time either.
Yeah, I haven't looked at these in a hot minute.
So all of these, once again, like Notion said, check out the YouTube channel so we can do it. We're just going to describe the photos as we go. So I'm just standing in this. We did a bunch of shots at the crib where I'm standing in front of my Erica Badu canvas. Whatever, just shooting. And all of them have the upside down triangle. This one here is standing in the middle of the road in Mont Tremblant, just in the middle of the snow, which is super, like the contrast is so dope here, just with the black and white shot, different colors on the triangle, just being completely empty. It's beautiful, man. You got the back,
these are fun.
The back cover shot there.
Yeah, the icicles here are crazy.
Icicles are crazy. Yeah, another shot under like a bridge in Tremblant. We actually went there on Thanksgiving, like 2 weeks ago, and it reminded us of like, oh yeah, we totally forgot we went up and did the shoot there.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck. I remember we drove up and I went to take a piss on this part. I'm like, yo, I swear we went and shot there with Josh. It's fucking great. This is literally in this wall right behind me. But I used to have where the guitars are. I used to have these records pinned to the wall, like all these vinyl pieces of vinyl. But that was a cool shot with the bandana. We got the remember, Josh? We went and met a dude that we met off like Kijiji.
I still have that.
Yeah, man. We met him at Saint Laurent Metro because it was really hard to get a white. What's this thing called? About ski mask.
Did we only buy the one, or did we buy two?
We bought one each, and we also went to an army supply store on Saint Laurent, and we got a black one. But
do you still have yours?
I have both of them, and I've worn them in other videos actually.
Yeah.
Funnily enough. So we made, they're super cool, man. So you made this full booklet because we took so many dope photos. We were like, because obviously you're a photographer, and I guess we didn't even really position it, but not only you're a photographer and I guess like illustrator and graphic artist, and now you're a woodcarver in this bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
fire starter.
Exactly.
Twisted fire starter.
So
you know what I mean,
Josh was able to bring to life, I guess the reason I'm showing all of this stuff was that Josh was able to bring to life concepts that the average, someone who's just a photographer is just going to take photos, or someone who's just a designer. And not that just a photographer or just a designer is a bad thing, but the benefit of working with someone like Josh is that you can take the photo and combine on the spot and be able to create something like that. Whereas before, we're all from the one mind, where I have to like get the photographer and then give the graphics person the photos. Be like, and we'd have to explain it to this third party, and then it would maybe some of it got lost in translation. So it was just so
definitely lend a huge hand in towards presentation of everything and all that sort of stuff. And I love working with my hands, so that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's perfect for you to do all this stuff and physically manipulate the environment. So the environment is, as you can make it how you want it, photograph it, and then edit it how you want it. So you've really got control of everything top to bottom, which is.
If you think about it, this is the first time we've done that, done something like that since in the experiment.
Very true. Very true. But with Relentless, when we
all
get
the
into
other stuff
it,
were just photos.
Everything else was just photos. All the single covers were actually just stock photos we found online in between 2012.
Yeah.
And then I stopped bothering you with single covers because I kind of felt like it was a waste of your time. I was just like, there's no point bothering Josh to just a single cover. For Relentless, top to bottom, yes, you did everything, but it just didn't feel like it was necessary. It felt like you should be only doing the bigger, more complete artistic pieces.
You guys were getting your skills up with that sort of stuff too. So it was just adding text on top of stock photos. So it wasn't necessarily anything that you needed me for. It wasn't really a whole lot of artistic approach.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Which other, just before we get into the Relentless stuff, we want to go through a couple more projects. Which other ones do we want to go next? Do you want to do?
Oh, I want to show the one that me and Nosh did in my living room.
Yes.
Oh, Heart on My Sleeve cover. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's it. You like, bro. I took my black curtain from my bedroom,
Yeah,
hung
and
it
like
up
pinned them to
on
the
the living
wall.
wall. I used
And
my
I
coffee
had like
table
my
as a
black
Santa.
Vitali. Sorry.
No, I just like the coffee table was what I put the tripod on in front of it with,
That's crazy.
and then I had a
Yeah, I
light
had
right
my
beneath your face.
Underneath. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense. Cool, cool.
We did
Yeah.
there's 3 shots. There was 3 shots.
I
We did like,
actually,
we did a bunch of headshots and
yeah,
like I turned around a bunch of angles and you use these 3 and then mesh them together. I had an all black fitted on and I had an all black Vitali hoodie on and just had to keep it stone face for the camera. But yeah, it was 3 shots. You blended in, kind of like in the background there. If you look under my hands,
And there's like all
it
this
was
dirt or grime or
scratches and shit.
scratches, which is
yeah, I
sick.
did an
Yeah, like
overlay
kind of a
of
grit.
distress.
What was the intention behind this one? Do you guys have any?
Honestly, I
Um,
have to check. I have to
I
check the
don't know.
emails or the messages, but like I remember just saying like I wanted something like real simple and black and white because like my Pride on My Cufflinks EP was literally shot on my iPhone fucking 3SE or whatever the fuck 3GS whatever it was,
Yeah,
and it did that myself, and then there was someone else that did the lettering, and I was just like I wanted something like that, but just better to keep the Pride on My Cufflinks, Heart on My Sleeve a very I don't know, cohesive together. They kind of they step up to each other. So I wanted the artwork to reflect that too, because I had black and white on the first one, so I definitely wanted it on the second one. So as far as the photos, pretty much like the positioning and shit, it was all Josh, but like we just made it that position up, and then we did the left and right headshots, and then you splice it together, and it looks like fucking that, which is proper.
yeah.
Yeah, this looks super sick. And then I love that you guys were able to do that good. As far as the back, oh yeah, the back cover. Oh, we don't have a backup. Do you guys do a backup?
Crazy. Yeah.
Is this it? This is a
We did
PDF.
a back cover. I don't know if you have it here, but we did do a back cover.
Why would I not have it?
Involved
Oh,
in-
back cover. My bad.
involved in notebook.
That's the book. Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Wow. It's because we didn't get it printed. I just don't know it as well.
Like it's a journal kind of thing.
So this is so what we're looking at. There's an open journal with there's like the text is on the page there. We have some matches and four lit matches
4
already
extinguished
with a fresh match across like the undefeated logo, like 444, and then what's the deal with these guys? What were you guys going for with this? This is like
So I guess it was like not out of luck yet. Yeah, so I'm like not out of luck yet. Still got some fire to burn. There's a full box of matches, so next to it. So and I guess those like I don't know.
Like keep trying to get to what.
Keep trying, keep going. You still got some flame left, and it could light the rest up, and then
That's sick.
So that was pretty much the symbolism with that. But then just wanted to have a book symbolizing a journal, a diary, and then having the back credits on that. And then keep it as simple as we could, and Josh fucking slayed it once again. That was like, it's very simple. There's only 3 things on it other than the logos. So that's what I wanted.
I love it. This is really great. This was a great project. So this was out in 2017. Once again, available everywhere. One thing that we mentioned that we did a while ago, Josh. That I hope I have it here. I must. The EPKs. Electronic press kits.
Oh, the press kits, yeah.
So
press kits were fun too.
I don't think we ever
That
fixed.
might have been my first in-studio shoot.
Yo, okay, it was. You're right.
I don't know if I've ever taken pictures in the studio before that.
No, it was. This was a real big. Why is this not fucking playing? Oh, it's not even letting me. I don't know why. It's got like I don't understand. This computer does this thing, and it's got like the iCloud thing where you can download it. Oh, because it says it's in iCloud.
Photos.
Neither do I, though. I just don't know the fuck. Oh, now it's downloading. Okay, well, I'll show you in a sec.
Yeah.
So we did a photo. The only real serious studio shoot we've done was in 2015 in February. I remember it specifically, where we bought like 3 bags of clothes each, and we had it for 2, maybe 3 hours. There's one on Danforth in Toronto.
Danforth, yeah, that was proper.
Josh shot the whole thing. A lot of the photos, like if you go to themovingfam.com, those are still the photos because they're the only real good studio photos that we have of Notion and I.
Both of us. Yeah.
Together, yeah, which is kind of annoying, I guess, that we never kept. We kept saying we did it and we had such a good time. We were like, fuck, man, we need to do this like, every 6 months. And then we just never did it again. So let me bring this up. Here we go. So this is the press kit. So it was done in 2016. So I guess we probably
Look at that haircut, mate. Look at that. Fresh up.
Shouts to Dave. So these are some of the shots for it with the bio here. Here you go. It says, well, blogging over 2,000 unique beers, and I'm up to almost 7,000. So I guess time goes. So I used to wear a fedora thing, trying to get that crispy look. Like this is a real nice press kit, actually. The photos that sort of need to be updated, and the info could be good, but I guess I don't really need a press kit that much as we used to, because we're doing a lot of shows.
Yeah, back then.
Some of the brand collabs and shit. All the links, whatever, looking crispy. So that was my one, and this one is Notion's one. I accidentally downloaded the high res one, hence the wait for it to load. So Notion's one, looking crisp. We both had the good thing about this shoot and then putting this thing together. This is also for artists. Like, you need something like this, like particularly if you're trying to get shows or do real shit in music. Notion, I got a lot of the same type of shots each, so we could use things to mirror when we were doing everything together as far as shows and all that type of stuff. So it was good that we had similar shots that we could use. And just to show off all the work that we're doing, and that was just a really fun shoot. Why the fuck is this not loading? Come on, my G. There we go. It's just really cool. Yeah, no, I really should know that the massive one. It's just super crispy, super moody. That's a great shot, eh?
I love the black and white.
The lighting was so cool that we could do so much.
Best, dude.
Yeah, man. We were able
to. The upside down one at the end is super cool. Yours
Didn't we have Adam Alexander with us too?
I think Adam was there, and Adam is such a good bloke, man. He's
because I wouldn't have been able to do the lighting without him.
I have a strong feeling he was there, and he's one of the most supportive motherfuckers of all time.
I'm gonna switch back to the Bad Habit screen.
Oh, so sorry. Wrong one. Thank you. Appreciate you. So Adam was there. That was really cool to do those things. So once again, as you guys can see, and what we're really showing here is the depth of the work that we've done with Josh over the years. This is a decade of stuff, and once again, we're only showing you the highlights. We're not showing you the small stuff.
Yep.
So it's been a ride.
It has been a ride. So now we're getting to the whole point of this podcast, and we get into the Relentless side of things. So obviously, I guess we did Bad Habits. I guess we didn't talk about that either. Do we want to talk about the Bad Habits?
No, Bad Habits is fun. Bad Habits is fun. Yeah, you could throw Bad Habits out.
Okay. So then this was probably... Oh, and then we also did... what's the other joint called? Buy Toxic City. Jeez, man. There's been a lot of fucking work.
That was tough.
Bad Habits I had more fun doing, but... Yeah, I felt like a mad genius with Bad Habits, because I scanned Polaroids, but then I
Polaroids like that?
pictures into the actual squares of the Polaroids, and then I did similar distressing that I did with
Is that the same font as Heart on My Sleeve?
Heart on My Sleeve, yeah. But if you look at it too, there's pill trays. Pills come in like that foil thing where you pop them out.
Oh, there's circles on it?
I can see that.
Yeah, because I scanned Polaroids, or I scanned pills as well as Polaroids, and then overlaid them all. Because again, Bad Habits. But what's also cool with
that's wild
that the type is outlined is it can say Bad Habits, or it can say Had Bad Habits.
So you put, for people, this is so sick, you need to see this. So you put the word habits vertically, and then the word bad with the across the A of the habit. So it's kind of like a cross, also showing the I guess the redemption from the bad habits. Lots of references here. Pills. There's money on here. I guess the upside down picture of Toronto. Sorry,
and then city, yeah,
and the city, exactly. This is a really dope cover, and I like the consistency with something like Heart on My Sleeve. I think it was definitely sort of inspired by a lot of that as well. Because I guess as you guys have seen, we always want fucking black and white stuff. Like it's
and black and white
So it
is
just
one of my
works, bro.
favorite things.
Classic, timeless.
I think that I can't speak for you, Josh, but at least Brad and I don't really wear a lot of color. Like I'm really like super neutral. Like
same.
Yeah, you are too. Okay.
The only reason this color is because I bleach black.
There you go. So it's like
Most of my stuff's black too.
Yeah, the bleached black hoodie is fucking lit, man. So this one was super cool for Bad Habits, and the back cover, which I haven't seen for ages either. There we go, sick.
Tidy.
What are the background pictures here?
So that actually was a glitch that happened with my camera. For some reason, whenever I took a shot, I think it was a studio shot that I did when I was in school. I took a shot, and I think I was shooting with my camera connected to my computer, and for whatever reason, it got like sticky in a way, like the TVs kind of glitch out sometimes. And it was a color, and there was like green and red stripes and all that, but like once you desaturate it,
I've had the exact
black and white, like
happen.
This kind of cool.
That's
like
crazy,
sections
Josh.
off
the memory card that fucked up. My memory card was fucked up, and it was giving the same glitch. I had to just format it, and then it stopped. But I see exactly what you're saying. Like it just kind of glitches out. That's super cool.
It's trippy, but it looks so sick because it's like sectioned off of the faces and different parts of the bunny. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Again, that was just a shot that I had in the bank that I was just like, yo, you want to use this? And you're just like, yeah, that's fine.
Fuck yeah. It's dope, man. I really like how this came out. Such a clean project.
What about this?
And then we had the last one just before, since we're talking about the major ones, are By Toxic City, which was the end of 2020, where we did. This was a project I did with Decipher and Smokewell, and this is the original one that they wouldn't let us use because AWOL are going very, very strict with fucking iTunes ridiculous rules. So this is the original cover that it's supposed to be. So Josh, you had this sick shot of a park bench where it said hashtag 2020 is cancelled and By Toxic City, and we're like, oh my god, that's the best name for the project, because we didn't even have a name for it at the time. And we were all like,
this was in the height of like what month was this?
October 2020, so we probably made this the month before.
Where was that chair?
So yeah, it was the first. This was in like the Cedar Vale Ravine by my place.
Oh, sick.
But it was like the first winter with COVID, or like first fall with COVID. So like things were starting to get colder, and like it was still no sign of it finishing, and like people were obviously pissed. So yeah, it was sick. It was fun.
Man. So the funny thing was, the rule is you're not allowed to leave 2020. If any words on the cover have to be in the lyrics of the song. At the time, 2020 is cancelled was not on because we already finished the project and we were making the art. So we had to take that out of the final one that made it onto the streaming sites. And we, for this volume 2 that we're doing, it was supposed to be a deluxe, but we turned it into volume 2. We actually did a title track where I say 2020 is cancelled, so we're going to be able to keep that in. If we take a, we'll do a different photo for the second one, but it'd be cool to do something different. We should talk about that soon because that album's almost done too. And then you did a wicked back cover where, oh no, you didn't do this one. Never mind. So you have to even show that. We just did that because we didn't want to bother you. So if we go right, since we're here, we'll go into Relentless. So this project, I hit you up obviously, and I'm like, bro, this is the big one. I think at the time I was like, I didn't know what to do, but I said to you, I wanted a logo where you could put a logo on a t-shirt, and it was like a combination of like I think I kept saying like just anything, the example, like a cross and a crescent moon, like something if you see these two things. Yeah, you did say that too,
but before you even said the cross and crescent moon, you always used to say, you're just like, I just want an art piece. Like I just want it to like feel like a piece of art.
Okay. And then I guess we were running through the ideas. Now you had this, which we probably won't show yet because we still might use it for merch, but you had this original idea that we were supposed to use like 5 years ago. Actually, maybe not that long ago. No, it would have been 5 years ago because that's when we started. For a hat piece where you wrote the word Relentless in And when you look at it on the side,
such a trip.
Oh, that was such a
so sick. So accidental too. Like I didn't intentionally mean to do that, but I did it, and I liked the way that the swoops were swooping, and turned it sideways. And yeah, there's a treble clef. And I was just like, oh, that's quite
sick.
convenient.
So we were going to use it for this hat collab we were doing with a store that just never kind of panned out. And then now we've hung on to that design for merch. And I wanted the album to be called Relentless. I knew that from the beginning before I started that was what it was going to be called. That's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned it in all the songs and it was more cohesive. So I told you I just wanted art because me and Maya had made, approach the music more like art than normal, whereas more just like, hey, give me a beat, let me rap over it, Brad, make it sound good, boom, done. Well, this was like we started from built it brick by brick and added all the sprinkles and all the different musicians. So I wanted the art to reflect the work that we put in with music. And obviously,
nice one.
And you said this the other day, Josh, which I really liked on social. You were like, look at what happens if you just give me creative control and let me fly.
Yeah.
And I was like,
facts. Watch me.
That was a great post.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's so true. Because I just ran with it. Like we didn't really, there were no parameters. Like we obviously agreed on the what the art was gonna look like. Like I sent you a few ideas that I had. You picked the one that you liked the most.
And you liked the one the most too,
which was great. It was just like I told you what I was gonna do, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, do it." It was just like, "All right, sick." And then I kept just trying other things. But yeah, this one was really fun.
Yeah.
And special.
This was extra special, so we'll start with even though we kind of did it the other way around, let's just start with the single covers, because the single covers were also very thought through.
Yes.
To not to discount those. The album obviously was like epic, but the single covers were great. So this was I Got Next. This was the first single. And the reason it looks like this was a photo. I said, you know what? We based the single cover off what the video is going to be. We're actually shooting the video. Today is Sunday. We're shooting it on Wednesday, at least the Montreal part. And then you're going to shoot the rest in Toronto with Notion and Maya. So the theme is going to be like nighttime and neon in the visuals. So I was like, I want something dark with neon. And you're like, oh, well, what was the place you shot this at?
This was actually the last live music I had seen before COVID. This was Jonathan Emil's performance. I don't know where it was at, though. I don't remember the name of the spot.
In the Junction?
But,
in the Junction.
In the basement.
Yeah, in the Junction. They had like
what was that place called?
Like little pinball machines tucked off to the side by the entrance.
Okay.
So like this original shot was like orange and black, and like had a lot of other text on it, and like it was like obviously advertising like a racing game or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
But yeah, because it had game over.
Yes. So this is like
I Got Next. It's just like.
Dude, it was so. The way that this came out, like because I was a bit worried that they would notice that it's game over, kind of reflected and reversed, because it sort of still shows it to be and upside down. So like you picked a font that looks exactly like the little dots that you would find on a video game. You made that the I Got Next. That was perfect in the scoreboard, and you've got our names in the bottom with the blue and the red or pink is the text, and it's so perfect. And we were a bit worried that AWOL wouldn't accept it because they've been so fucking tight. Sorry guys, they're a decent distributor, but Jesus Christ, it's so annoying. I could get away with all this stuff with TuneCore, but not with these guys. Like it's just they just won't do it.
That's strange.
So we got this one through. Really, really happy with this one, and it's cool because now we're going to shoot the video based off that, and it's all planned out. So I'm excited to get that one done. So this one was cool because you had this photo in the bank, but you did a lot of editing and processing to make it, and it just looked it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Then the second single, this one was intense because the second single is Stay Woke, and what we did was
That's crazy.
So the idea was and this was Maya's idea, was to do a thing where you're rapping in front of a wall that's covered in newspaper clippings. And we were like, okay. And then we were like, well, why don't we make our own newspaper? There's like, I just came up, there's like the Relentless Times or whatever. I just said that initially and we just stuck with it.
Classy. I like it.
Right? Nice and easy. And then we were like, okay. Then I was like, oh, what am I going to do for the text? Because it's got to be real actually we thought like we would use it for the video. And then somebody suggested, I couldn't have been you, Josh. Someone was like, just use the lyrics for the songs. I'm like, fuck, of course.
Yeah, because we need a placeholder text.
Perfect.
Yeah.
placeholder text, and then that's everything. And then because I wanted to use photos of it for the cover, it would go around AWOL's rules because every single fucking word on this is in the lyrics, and I put the lyrics in there. So that worked out amazing. So what we did was Jonathan Emile, shouts to Johnny, he came through with this because none of us knew InDesign, and all of I spent money to join Envato Marketplace to go and buy the fucking 1930s style templates that had been done. So we did that. John actually put it all together because he knows InDesign and made it really sick, even made it sepia a bit so it looks extra fire. And he even got it printed for me for a reasonable price. So I still have a ton. I'm going to get them framed because they all look super sick. So we took them to the video shoot. We put them all over the wall.
I want those framed too.
Oh yeah,
I've got them online.
I got
moviefam.com.
Fuck, I could actually. I couldn't sell on Move. Well, I could sell on moviefam.com, but I'd have to pay for Squarespace store again. But anyway, it's doable. It's doable. If people want them, I could do it. I could at least, or just sell the prints anyway. So the idea is that, so we use it for the video. I use this tape that doesn't, it actually cuts specifically for this stuff. It doesn't ruin paint and doesn't ruin the picture. So we're able to stick it up. And even if they were if people have seen the video, we're I had I'm looking up at a balcony. You can't see, but Rich is shooting me from the balcony, and I had Steph, Rich's wife, and Tiffany throwing, and Dan as well, throwing the newspaper down at me. So it's all floating while I'm rapping at the camera. It was super cool. So there's a bunch of them that are kind of naturally mash up a bit. So I met Josh in Toronto just before he went to BC and gave him all of the a bunch of this to work with, some mash up ones, some fresh ones. So tell us what you did. You did this in a hotel room in Vancouver.
Yeah, it was super stressful. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it because I was out in BC, and this was the week that my girlfriend at the time had pulled up. So we had a lot going on. There's just I think we had some time in Whistler planned, so I think I ended up doing it in Whistler, while people were over, and we were having drinks and stuff. I had there was this tray that there was in the Airbnb, and I kind of just laid it out in the tray, and I was just all right, guys, don't mind me, I'm just gonna make an album cover, and I kind of just walked around, looked for different things that they had. There's a coffee machine. I made a pot of coffee, rolled a joint, and then just crumpled the paper and ripped it in a few different places, and then lined up the rips so that the layers still spelt the same words. So that's why there's the rip through the times, but it's triple layered. And yeah, shot that and edited it and fired it over.
It's
and then the name of the track was on the cover, so I just circled it.
And then my name too at the top where it says more.
Yeah, your name. Yeah, exactly.
So this is actually kind of a throwback to the indie experiment approach to making the covers, because it's got money on here, you've got keys, you've got a spoon that's obviously on the side of a saucer where the coffee cup is, the spilt weed crumbs, there's something else in the top, no, it's all still money in the top right there. It's so thoughtful. This one blew my mind, bro. And I think as well, I actually might have, oh no, I didn't keep it on here. But yeah, this one really blew my mind because it was just so, I think it only hit me now after looking at those other two, that it's it's a throwback to that, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So that was the second single.
Yeah, that one, I was super shocked that you were as impressed as you were, because that one was the one that I was down to the wire. I got.
And look, that's unfortunately for me, it always happens with the music, whether it's myself, whether it's with you for the art, or Rich for the videos. Every single thing has happened within hours of the due date type of thing. And when I say due date, it's only because AWOL needs, and I realize that due date isn't as concrete as they made it out to be, which is good. So we do have the flexibility because it worked every time. We were late every time, and it worked every time. So we still got it out okay, but for some reason, anything I do is just never on time. It just is what it is. But I always know that the squad comes through. We always come through and get it out. So that's the funny part.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, right? And then the third single was Let Justice Prevail featuring Caleb Hart, which we'll touch on the video as well after we do the album cover, since even though next week we're going to talk about the videos, you were a big part of this one. Tell us about this one, bro, because this was something I said, we didn't know what to know. we had an original idea. Do you remember the original idea for this?
Shooting someone with it on a bandana out their pocket or something like that. Was that what it was?
Yeah, we were gonna get Black Lives Matters, which is the hoodies that we're wearing in the video. We're gonna get that printed onto bandanas or even face masks. Like we bought black surgical masks, and I was willing to buy a bunch of like cloth ones too. And then we decided against that, and then I thought, okay, let's take a look and see if there's any BTS photos that were cool, because Tiff was taking behind the scenes photos at the video shoot. And there was like, they were just like cool photos. They weren't like anything that we'd really want to use for. Like I was trying to avoid my face, right, for the cover. I didn't want my face because like if you guys saw all the other stuff aside from Indie Experiment. Actually, you know what? I haven't put my faces on cover. I always thought that I did. It was just This Is All I Know I did. Every other cover had no face.
Yeah, This Is All I Know you were like hiding it for the most part.
Wow. I can't, in my head, I'm like, all I do is put my face. Man. No, it's the other way around. I just think I put my face on the cover so much that this album, I was like, I don't want my photo anywhere near any of it. That's fucking hilarious, because that means the only time that I did, I was either covering it or looking down. And then every other one does not have it. That is very funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I said to you, for this one, can you, like, let's get like a blurry photo, just make it like kind of trippy. And then you were like, oh,
yeah,
what
like
about
something
this
kind of
one?
you're not really sure. Yeah.
Correct.
And this was this is my boy, one of my good friends, Sheldon. This was his first roll of film ever. So this was the night that I shot the Relentless cover.
Which we'll get to.
In the same backyard. Actually, so the Relentless cover was shot in the backyard of Powerhouse, which was where the first Indie Experiment was. Like right next to where the Indie Experiment mirror was drawn.
Wow.
Which is kind of funny to think about now. But yeah, so this was his first roll of film. He had stopped by me the day before. He used his dad's film camera that his dad grew up using, and his dad just gave it to him. So gave him a roll of film. He tossed it in, figured out how to use it that night. And just fired off some shots while I was like doing whatever I was doing with the stump. And then the flames are a photo that I took the night of the cover that I just overlaid over the image, and then again distressed it the same way that I did with Heart on My Sleeve and Bad Habits.
I love it. And don't forget
that shit.
Yeah, the distressing is something that we all love, which is great. Like all three of us are really into it, so it works perfect. And you also had a so the flames are a nod to the album cover and to the Let Justice Prevail video, and the font, which is Times New Roman, is a throw to the newspaper for Stay Woke, which is the single.
And that hoodie is the first Black Lives Matters hoodie that I've ever made. Actually,
yes,
that was the tester. It's like all those logos on the back are just like replica.
I love that.
Duplicates of my logo.
Which is do you know what? Even just talking about this, all the synchronicities. Right, pardon?
Is that guy right there?
Oh, let me bring it over. Sorry, because I'm on the other screen so everyone can see.
Oh no, I just pointed at the hoodie. It's like hanging.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that guy right there with the black with the bleach, which is fucking fire. Yeah. So those were this was just really cool. Just want to quickly point out, like all of those synchronicities from being shot 10 years after the very first major cover that you worked on was shot 10 years later. 10 and a half years, because I guess that would have been in like April, and then this one was in October or September or something, but in the exact same spot essentially. Like that level of full circle is like that's universe shit right there.
Yeah,
I love that.
I could tell. Yeah, level of like full circle in terms of the design, but it's like it's also cool to like both people stuck with those passions after that amount of time. Those friendships of the people that live in the powerhouse remained intact after that amount of time. Like there's so many variables that are kind of beautiful if you like look back at all of the things.
I wouldn't say kind of.
Contribute to it having to come. Yeah, exactly. Incredibly beautiful to like contribute to the full circle aspect in general.
I didn't think of it like that. The friendships, because that's the thing, is probably the most volatile, right? Everyone's healthy, well, thriving, everyone's hustling, everyone's doing their shit, everyone's like grown, and we were kids fucking around back then. We were like just having a good time.
What's crazy is like a year or two from now, we like it was right at the 10-year mark, you said, right?
It was
10 years, like a
2011. It was, oh, hang on a sec. That was 2012. Okay, it was just before 10 years. So it's probably like 9.5. I'm sorry.
Okay. Because
Still.
like there's not like I think we're losing connection to the powerhouse in the next like year. I think
Okay.
based on my predictions.
So maybe we need
it wouldn't have been possible.
No, that's true. You're so right. I guess you could say it was 10 years from the very first time we worked, which is still pretty notable. Not first year from the first, because it was April 2012 for the, or somewhere around there for the. Actually, if that dropped in all April 2012, we were shooting outside and Tiff was wearing just like a dress. I don't remember it being cold, so that means we could have shot it the summer before.
Yeah.
Huh.
Possible.
Either way. About say the 10 years, but is this very cool? Just actually realizing this, because look, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really look at my work after time when anything to do with that. I look at it a ton when I'm promoting it or actively doing shit, but I don't really go back to it enough. So this is very cool.
Yeah.
And then since we're talking about, let's show everybody the cover here. So the cover itself. So this is the main thing we're talking about. Let's go, not the 10,000 version. Let's do the 5,000 version. Here we go.
I forget how sick this fucking shit is.
Oh, do you know? Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's fucking wild. And we'll show at the very end. I'll show a time lapse of Josh actually making it. So let's talk us through how we got to this. Talk us through from the very beginning. So you designed the R to the point where you drew it physically, you took it to Illustrator, you elongated it to make it this real long, very noticeable thing, and then what did you do from there?
Like in terms of creating the cover, like with the stump and stuff.
Let's talk about the whole thing, because I wanted to come back to the point where we were saying that like you have your skills and abilities are able to manipulate the environment, photograph the environment, and then manipulate the final photograph.
Well, yeah, so this was first, like, we started with a hand-drawn thing, so, like, it was pen to paper, like, old school, just to, like, come up with what I wanted the art to look like. And then from there, I usually take a picture of the sketchbook, throw that in Illustrator, either trace it or live trace it and turn it into a vector, and then play with the vector to straighten all the lines, make sure the curves are nice, make sure the thickness is consistent or all the way around. And then that's when I sent you the white version on a black background and the black version on a white background, just to like see what you felt with the actual like
I'm looking
icon.
at that right now.
Sat with that for a bit, and then once we agreed on that being the icon, it was kind of just about finding a stump. And the same ravine that I walked in and found the bench with the Bitoxic City in 2020 is cancelled is where I found the stump. And yeah, I bought a piece of paper. I drew the logo large onto the piece of paper, and then took a knife and traced the outline of it, and then removed the piece of paper and then colored in the outline with a marker. And then that was what I used to show me what I had to chisel out, and then just carved out the logo. And I think I left it there for about 2 weeks actually after I carved it out,
because you wanted it to weather up a little bit.
I went back after I wanted it to like just get weathered a little bit, like get rain to be on it, like get the sun to beat on it for a bit, see if that would change anything. And then I went back with one of my good friends, Shireen, and carried it up a shit ton of stairs, carried it to a car, brought it to Powerhouse, and then that's the night where the Let Justice Prevail cover was shot, and then where this was shot in the backyard, and took like, I don't know, I think maybe 300-400 pictures, tried different things, squirted it with like we had kerosene or whatever, like lighter fluid. Yeah, we tried a bunch of stuff, and this was the final one.
It's so beautiful. I mean, really, like the whole point of the album and the visual side, we want to lean into the elements. So, earth, fire, air, water, predominantly. I guess the fifth is like the metals and stuff. So we're trying to show those off through the videos. And you might have noticed, if people have seen the first two videos, that R, we actually got the R printed on flags. So we have one flag in Toronto with Josh and one flag in Montreal with me, so that the videos will always have the flag in it with the R on it as that real logo piece, and it's going to feature on the merch we're working on right now. And the idea was actually Josh was going to put the fire out and then keep the stump and then probably sand it down and then lacquer it up and use it as like a little statement piece.
Yeah, the bro.
But the stump got
just
so
like
hot.
The album, the fire relentlessly burnt through the night. Ridiculous.
And it ended up a crisp.
Like I soaked that bitch down. Like it was swimming in a pool of ashy water, and it still relentlessly burnt through the night, and it came back to like absolutely nothing.
Such a shame, but hey, I like the attempt. That I guess is something you can always redo again, but it is a lot of work to do this and find just the right stump and that was like not attached to the ground, still heavy and shit.
Yeah, there's someone pissed somewhere because I assume it was some like a stool people used to regularly use.
Right.
It was just kind of too good to be true. Like I pulled up on it, it was just there. It's just like, oh, this is nice.
The universe popped it there, bro. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
And then we picked an alternate shot from the same thing for the back cover, just like less fire. It was almost like it was either you could tell if you're looking here at the bottom right there, it's like there's embers, so it's almost like is the fire just starting, or is it just being put out? And it sort of like goes in full. If you look at front, back, it's like the back could be the start and the end, and the front's the middle type of thing. So it kind of tells a story in and of itself. Tried to keep it minimal with the text and stuff, and obviously we have to put the factor stuff because they contributed to bits and pieces of the project and stuff. At least they for the art and things like that and the videos, which was dope because we got a nice little grant for this one. Not a lot, but we're on the board. So
something.
Yeah, man. So this was I actually just sent it over. I was going to bring this back because I was going to find it, but you're really good at doing stuff like this, but you took a screen, what do you call it? Sorry, a time lapse of the thing. I've got on top of the time lapse though, I just sent over some photos that I can show here. Here we go. So this was what you were talking about before. So you made the R, and you did a black version. You did stretch it out,
actually,
and then you did
I don't know. It looks pretty similar. Maybe not.
And you did the white background too. So you did the black and white on black, which looks cool just for the merch, and that's what you use for the thing for the carving.
Yeah.
You actually did this other version. I thought I'd share this one because this is just to show people where we were thinking. Because you actually
one of the first drawings.
Yes, and you made it like it was the word relentless in kind of all these lines. Like if you look, I don't know if can you see the mouth?
You can spell the word relentless now.
You can see my mouse. Yeah.
R,
the R, E, L, E, N. It's just the T here, the cross here.
Yeah.
And then
the two S's and the hoop with the R.
Two S, yeah. So like all kind of in there. That was like a pretty cool concept. But I just wanted to share this. This is what Josh meant. This is the original one. It's actually the photo came upside down, but it was this one here that we had that we took and we liked, and then you extend it so people can see like the bottom of the R there. Hang on, if I go, flip. The bottom of the R here. You extended that out. And then you kind of probably... Oh, no, it was this one, wasn't it? Looking at this now. Because it's got that little tail end.
Bar.
Yeah.
Extended it, yeah.
So, like, this is what we're saying. Like, it started from a sketch. Like, you took it from this sketch, merged it to this,
crazy to think about.
After playing with all of the other ones. Took that, traced it onto the... And this is where I'll show y'all the hangout. Just because this is my downloads folder, I got a whole bunch of like work shit in here. Where the fuck is it? You sent it to me just before. There it is. Okay, hang on. If I press play here,
the time lapse.
The time lapse. Here we go. Make sure this fits. There we go. All right. So this is you sent before. So this is the thing. So you did a time lapse. So you actually make it, so everyone can see how big the. Hang on.
There's no audio.
No, I knocked my cable out. Okay. Everyone can see how big the stump. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. see how big the stump is here, and you literally sat there for hours, physically working like a sculptor. Like, that shit is crazy, man. Like, that is fucking crazy. And actually...
I don't think I've ever done that for a cover before. The closest thing was the Bad Habits thing with the pills and the scanning and the polar.
Would you say that this is what about the
intense thing I've ever done with my hand for a cover, I think.
Okay, I was about to say, how was it as far as a challenge for you? Did it ever feel like it was too much? Because I always feel like we work things out together. Like we have kind of, and even with Notion, Rich, like we have this unspoken, like we just know if shit's going to work or not. But I feel like I didn't really push back on anything you said. I was always like...
Yeah, no, but that's kind of like why I think we work together so well, because like it's rare that like what I think is dope is something that you're not going to fuck with as well. So like once we like have... Like I asked the necessary questions ahead of time before I went into it, so I know like at least we're somewhat on the same page. Like at least we're in the same book, as opposed to being on the same page. And then once I establish that, I run with it and do what I think would be visually appealing and what I think would make the most sense. And you're always, for the most part, like, yeah, fuck with it. Might be a 1-2 small change, but never really any big set of stuff. But yeah, I don't think there was any point in time where I felt like it was too much or anything like that. Like, whatever I'm working with my hands and creating, like, it's kind of like I don't really feel the time passing. I think it was more so because, like, we have jobs and life gets in the way. Like, it was just finding the time to block out because I needed chunks of hours, especially, like, the lighting of the fire and, like, all that sort of stuff and, like, figuring out where I was going to do it. But... outside of that, I don't think it was anything where I felt like it was a challenge that I wish I didn't undertake. It was pretty good. I enjoyed doing it.
That's dope.
Yeah, I was inspired as fuck the entire time.
I'm glad, because that was what I was aiming for, and what's funny, Nosh?
You said it was high the entire time.
No, inspired as fuck the whole time.
Inspired.
Oh.
I mean, it could have been high the whole time too.
The internet connection has been a little jagged for me.
That's actually,
didn't hear the whole word.
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually much funnier though. So yeah, I just really feel like this was like a cool start to finish, just like a dope approach to the music, and I really, really feel that like obviously you delivered and then some like every fucking time anyway. I knew that would happen, and it was like I'm really bad with the visuals, so like but you're used to taking the cues that like Brad is a good Notion, you're a lot better with this stuff, whereas I always have trouble. Like I couldn't picture what I wanted this to look like beforehand, and now I'm like it kind of trips me out when I see what it ends up being. I'm like, oh wow, this is like a thing. This is fucking sick. Yeah. Whereas I can't picture it. All I thought about was I want the R, and then like, oh, what could we do with the R? Like I think we might have had other ideas about painting it somewhere or carving it into a tree, like an actual living tree, or some other shit like that, and not really knowing what we were going to do with it. So like for it coming to life like this was and then now even like I feel like I appreciate it even more now because of these synchronicities with the time difference, where it was shot, how we use some of our old methods that might not have been seen, because I was just coming out as a solo artist at the time, so I didn't have a lot of followers or numbers or anything like that, and now things have grown a lot and it's in a better position. But I think that's one of the things that we could all three of us on the call right now could relate to. That it's like it's kind of cool when you have the abilities to conceptualize an idea and then turn it into something tangible or something sonically that you can listen to. Like those things start with one word, on whether it's written or typed on a phone. Like it still starts with a letter and then a word and then turns into a song and then there's music attached to it, and then before you know it, it's a fucking vibe. So like it's very similar in terms of visual. It's just like I see something and then it evolves. Like I didn't know it was gonna look like this, but I did have a very I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know it was gonna look identical to this, but I knew it was gonna be a logo with the R in it on fire. Like I knew that much. But in terms of the steps and how it pans out along the way, like it is it's kind of just up to following what feels right in the moment and enjoying the final outcome. Because it's sick as fuck. Man, Couldn't agree more.
Add that shit to my website ASAP.
Oh yeah, Mads need to know. And then on top of that, that was really well said. That's going to be the clip for this for sure. You also shot, being that you are, you're the main person that knows, our main visual person that we just work so well with. You happen to be with Caleb, who's the singer on Let Justice Prevail, for like 5 weeks in BC. So you guys went and organized a shoot out there in the same style that we did our shoot here in Quebec. So it was literally across the country, which is beautiful. And you were able to shoot Caleb, and also you had to bring a bunch of people out, just like we brought people out to us. You did it out there. You had Smoke Machine. We had an old friend who used to live at the Powerhouse or be at the Powerhouse.
Was helping. Yeah.
And he was helping, and he went out of his way, and he got a Smoke Machine and like all these other stuff to make the video super sick. I guess another synchronicity too, if you really want to tie that in.
And then everybody in the video was wearing a hoodie that I made that was, again, started with a hand-drawn design.
And then you started off...
We didn't even know we were going to do it for that. Like, I made those hoodies, like, the year before and shipped them out to a bunch of people in BC before I knew it was going to be in BC, before we knew what the video was going to be. And then everything kind of just, like, panned out.
We were going to get someone there to shoot it. And then you happen to be there. We're like, well, fuck. You're already like helming the visuals. And then, so I think that is so dope. And to even put more context, because this keeps coming up now, Caleb is your mate from Trinidad and Tobago from a long time ago.
Yeah.
Since y'all were mad young.
15 years.
So, perfect. So then I met Caleb through you in Toronto multiple times. Like he'd come in, I remember we spent lunch breaks together. He was always like just singing and stuff. So it's, good to see him. He came through Montreal. I know, I wanted to do a reggae song for this album. The very first thing we did for the album was John Rosner, my guitarist, made the reggae thing. Then I think I talked to you about it, and I can't remember how it happened, but you were like, yo, let's work with Caleb. Clary made that beat. I think exactly. So then I sent Caleb the beat. He was like, yep. I was like, what's it going to be called? What are we going to talk about? He goes, it's going to be called Let Justice Prevail. I'm like, okay, let's go then.
That's how that happened.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it, and I'm like, okay. This was before we even like linked. And then he came to Montreal on tour in May 2015. So then Nosh was in town because I think I imagine we were doing shows or shooting videos or some shit. And so me and Nosh and Tiff and Caleb all wrote the chorus together in studio that day whilst Caleb recorded. We had the drums recorded that day by the engineer. Derek, who was his bandmate, and Brad were playing the bass line, and Derek was playing it, and Nosh was guiding him and making sure we got it right. Caleb played the djembe. It was just like a dope day because the whole squad was there for that. So that's another full circle because that song kicked off the album, but I wouldn't have met Caleb if it wasn't for you. And then you ended up shooting the video and then doing the merch that everybody wears and then doing the cover. Like it's like
crazy.
When you really think about it, like there is no music of ours without you. Like that's how ingrained it is. If you really think about how deep all of that is, like that's fucking crazy. It's kind of blowing my mind a bit. I was like, yeah, Josh, we do photos. We do.
Round of applause for Terry.
Does happen for you?
Oh, I got a photo. Uncle Terry.
Right, there it is.
Invaluable. Like that's cool, man.
I appreciate you. But yeah, it's a fucking trip.
It's a fucking trip, bro.
For real.
It makes me real happy. So now we realize how well you worked. Please go.
No. I was just saying it does make you really happy. Like when you think about it.
It's just like, I don't know, there's not many creative... This is why a lot of people, when they talk about keeping the circle small, like, the circle been tiny, and it stays tiny, and this is why, though. Like, I could go and work with someone else, and they could be great, but are they going to understand? Are they going to understand? We got no history together. Are they going to understand, like, how we work? Like, how can you create art without, like, these key people around? Like, nobody knows my vocals like Notion. Nobody can mix my vocals. It's happened recently. Someone didn't do a good job, and then we're in the process of fixing it because Notion should have been in charge of that in the first place. You're the only person who's done... The only one you didn't do that was a cover was Steps to the Peak, the yellow one behind me, because it was a Montreal project. So it needed... Every single part of that was Montreal. So that was the only reason that one didn't happen. But every single other thing you did. And, the only person I've worked with videos was Rich since 2013. He had one other dude, but Rich knew him as well, and they kind of worked together on my stuff. Sometimes Rich led, sometimes Shane led. But in the end, it ended up... Shane left anyway, and... Rich got really, really good, and here we are, and he gets it too. So like, it's so funny when, I don't know if funny is really the word. It's just cool when you really realize like how important the parts of the creative team, like, because there's a real genuine brotherhood and friendship that's not like, it's not about how much you're charging or anything like that. Everyone needs to be taken care of financially, of course, whenever possible. We're all independent artists, and we do what we can. But the point is that we are all here because we want to, and that's the beautiful thing about Relentless. Everyone who turned up because they really wanted to be there, and that's what I'm honored for too, because everybody came through.
100%. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was such a beautiful thing.
Absolute pleasure, as always.
As always. And look, and then you're also you did the video in BC. You'll be shooting, if I'm not able to be in Toronto, you obviously have a dope camera there, so you're able to shoot those videos in Toronto for like, I Got Next has Notion and my clarity on that. So then we got a pretty cool
fire.
Yeah, man, I'm psyched for that one. And I love even now we have a way of working with the video. So Rich loved working with you. Like, Rich was so impressed with how quality the footage was. We all made some mistakes about the night shooting that we need to fix, so we can fix that for next time. Because this one's a night shot. So then we take the learnings from that and we make it better. But we have a process now, and it's so simple. And obviously the people you're shooting Notion. You've known him for 10 years as well. And like Maya,
exactly.
You've known him a long time. And you guys, you and Notion were already working. The next Notion project, of course, Man's going to be doing a cover as well. Like, it's just like... it's just really cool to see all this come together. So,
And it's just the beginning.
And it kind of, doesn't it? We said that once this was done, and it's been 10 years, and we're still saying it's just the beginning, because it feels like...
We're finally starting to find our stride.
Yeah. I think the quality...
Everyone's getting really sick at their individual discipline.
That's what I mean. Like, the stuff we're creating now, like, can compete on a global level.
I think so. I really do. Yeah.
Like some of these artists are putting out some fucking whack ass album covers, bro. Like, it just doesn't even make sense that there's a team behind them.
Yeah. When you really think about that effort, that top to bottom, like, nobody can... This is no stock photo shit. Like, none of these things were stock photos. Exactly. Everything was made either with your hand or there was a photo that you took.
No Photoshop. I didn't Photoshop Drake on top of the CN Tower. I actually did that shit. She should have.
He should have. That would have been pretty gangster. You could have a little... He was far enough back. You could have been tied down or something. You'd be fine,
Yeah, Photoshop the harness out. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Don't Photoshop your entire self on top of something that you could actually finesse.
That's it. And it's Drake, so he could have done it. I mean, I'm a pussy hard enough. I would have actually sat up there, but, maybe Drake's soft like me. Doesn't like a bit of heights, but... yeah, man, I feel like this is what I wanted to get out of tonight. This was cool because it felt like reminiscing, but also if we didn't reminisce, we wouldn't have been able to tie those strings together from the history to where we're at now. And I think that value was much more than I even expected to get out of this chat. This is awesome. Too. Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate you, man. Like, you already know. Like, you're the best.
I appreciate you both.
Man, couldn't work with no one else. Always. For real. And also, you designed this logo. I know you don't love this logo. I'm wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah, I really don't.
Just doesn't like it. But it's the alternate TMF one. I think it was just like, I won't point out what it is, the issue, because then people can't unsee it. But it's...
yeah, you really can't. You cannot.
So we could tweak it still to fix it up. But I really like it as well. So like, I just feel like...
I'm down to do a rework. I am most definitely down to do a rework.
Okay. I would love that because I think it's cool. If people don't know what I'm talking about, it's the two kangaroos and the maple leaf logo, the alternate kind of TMF logo, where we even got a stamp made up for it. When we were touring,
Does it have to be two kangaroos or just one?
I guess the reason it was two was... Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be.
Oh, so it's you and Nosh doing that to each other in the...
Wow, Uncle Terry's savage. Wow, it'd be your own... Wow.
I didn't realize it was your Notion tool right this minute. And that's like, the visuals are piling.
Pause.
That's crazy. Big pause.
With that note, this has been episode 2 of Relentless Unpacked. Uncle Terry, thank you so much again, bro. This is great. This was really, really enlightening. Where can everyone find you online, find your work, follow you, check out all your shit?
My website is believedreamsdesignlife.com. and my social is just Joshua Telfer.
Perfect. Make sure you check Josh out. Shoot him a follow. Check the website. He's got a ton of great stuff. You've been photographing a lot of big people, big names recently, and doing some really, really cool shit, man. Like super, just creative stuff. It's just like inspiring account to follow. So make sure y'all do that. Nosh Dog, where can everyone find you, bro?
Mate, please check out Uncle Josh, aka Uncle Terry. He's just the best. You can find me at Notion Baby on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. At IllNote Studios on Instagram and Facebook, illnotestudios.com, notionbeats.com. Holla at you, motherfucker boy. Big C.
Love it. Just before I tell you, let's take that screenshot because we always forget. Let's get a little thummy there. There it is. Ready? Boom. Got him. And y'all can get me at CEEFOR on Instagram and Twitter. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up. Hit subscribe below, regardless of whether it's audio or video. Hit the notification bell on YouTube. How's it sound?
Ding.
Ding. So you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at The Movement Fam. We premiere our podcast every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you are listening, I highly recommend you check out the video for this one, because this was one of the first times I think we've actually done this. And maybe we'll do it for Rich as well, and we can play the videos in the background and talk through it, just like this.
It's a great experience for the YouTube watchers.
Yeah, and it's really easy with this program I'm using to do that. So this is dope to be able to talk through it and show you guys the history. I think this is just like, so you can understand what goes into it. So both it's like capturing our history in like, in time in these episodes, but like, if there's artists just curious on the process that we use, that I think is probably what a lot of other people use. I think when we really work on something big, we do it properly, and now you can sort of look at those elements, and it might just you look at it differently when you understand how it's been approached and how much thought and how much work has gone into these things. It's not just like someone's taken a photo and put a logo on it or done some quick shit in Photoshop or whatever. Like, it's real art, and that's what we always strive for. So this is a beautiful thing. Thank you both. We'll see everybody in the next episode.
Have a good one, mate.
Get it in ya.
Get it through ya.
Peace.
Shouts to Tweed, mate. Hey, get a fizz up ya.
Shouts to Rorschach, mate. Get a
gang.
Truth cereal through ya.
Boom. Catch ya, come.
That's the hat you wore in the performance.